Here's the title, and here's exactly what it means. In December 2024, Alejandro Garnacho won the Puskás Award, officially the most beautiful goal on the planet. 3 days later, his own manager, Ruben Amorim, left him out of the Manchester Derby squad entirely. And 18 months after that, Lionel Scaloni cut him from Argentina's World Cup squad. His downfall is exactly what Amorim saw coming. And this video is about why Amorim saw it when the goal of the year said the opposite. But the real story is stranger than a manager falling out with a player. Garnacho is the one young footballer of his generation who had direct access to both of football's opposing gods. He trained beside Cristiano Ronaldo at United. He played beside Lionel Messi for Argentina. He said he grew up idolizing one and was learning from the other. And here's the paradox. According to multiple coaches, he never fully absorbed either. This isn't a video about who's the GOAT. It's about what happens when a young player is caught between two universes that never, ever touch. Start with the moment that reveals everything. An Argentina dressing room. Garnacho is asked a simple question: who's the GOAT? He says, Ronaldo. With Messi in the same room. His teammate Leandro Paredes later told the story publicly. He got very nervous and couldn't talk. We asked him who the GOAT was, and he said, Ronaldo. He was in the Argentina dressing room. Obviously, when he comes to the national team, he has to change a little bit, because here we have ours. Here's the surprise that most people miss. This wasn't just a funny dressing room story. It exposed something structural about Garnacho. He was the only player in that room whose football values belonged to the rival universe. Everyone else was raised in the Church of Messi. Garnacho walked in worshiping the other god. And that's the stake. Because a player can survive being different. What's much harder is being pulled genuinely, sincerely, toward two completely opposite ideas of what a footballer is supposed to be. To understand the trap Garnacho was in, you have to understand that Ronaldo and Messi aren't just two great players. They're two irreconcilable philosophies of football. Ronaldo is discipline as identity. The body as a weapon perfected daily. Repetition, the bicycle kick drilled hundreds of times in training until it becomes instinct. The shoe, celebration as a symbol of domination, not joy. Nothing is ever enough. There's always more to conquer. Messi is the opposite. Freedom as identity. Talent as natural expression, not construction. The game is joy, not duty. Vulnerability as strength. He never hid the tears. The collective before the individual, the pass before the goal. And when he finally won all, he cried from relief. These two philosophies don't blend. You can admire both, but as a player, you're eventually built by one or the other. The pressing, the daily grind, the tactical obedience, that's the Ronaldo world. The instinctive, free, creative spark, that's the Messi world. Garnacho grew up in the Ronaldo world. He signed for Manchester United, in his own words, because he idolized Cristiano. And then Argentina pulled him toward the other sun. Let's ground this in the timeline, because it's almost poetic how it unfolds. 16 years old. Garnacho, born in Madrid to an Argentine mother, developed at Atletico Madrid's academy, leaves Spain for Manchester United. And a big reason is Cristiano. He grows up copying the shoe. He scores in the youth ranks and celebrates like his idol. When Garnacho breaks through, Ronaldo is still at the club. The dream is literally in the same building. Then 2022. Something remarkable. Scaloni calls Garnacho up to Argentina before he'd even made a single senior start for United. Argentina saw him before his own club fully did. And here the conflict of idols goes public. Garnacho posts a photo alongside Messi on Instagram and calls him mi idolo, my idol. The exact same status he'd given Ronaldo. In the dressing room, asked who's the GOAT, he says Ronaldo. Paredes and the others tease him relentlessly. Then, October 2022, his United debut arrives, playing alongside Cristiano Ronaldo. The childhood dream fulfilled. Months later, Ronaldo leaves the club and Garnacho quietly inherits the role of United's young star, the very slot CR7 had occupied. Two idols, two worlds, and a teenager standing with one foot in each. Now, watch him try to be both at once, and for a while, watch it look like it might actually work. On the Ronaldo side, he drilled the bicycle kick hundreds of times in training. Pure repetition, pure Ronaldo discipline. And in November 2023, at Goodison Park, in the 3rd minute, it paid off. An overhead kick off a Dalek cross that flew past Pickford. Roy Keane, a man who hands out compliments like they cost him money, went briefly silent, then said, "Very few players in the world can do that." Gary Neville called it the most beautiful overhead kick he'd ever seen. In December 2024, FIFA made it official, the Puskás Award. Best goal on the planet. Announced by Del Piero in Doha. And here's the detail that makes the whole story rhyme. Garnacho became only the 2nd Argentine ever to win it, and the very first winner of the Puskás, back in 2009, was Cristiano Ronaldo, his idol. On the Messi side, meanwhile, he's posting me idolo, saying publicly, "I grew up idolizing Ronaldo, but now I'm learning from Messi." The single sentence that captures the entire dilemma. His best on-pitch moments, the Puskás, the mazy Ten Hag-era dribbles, were pure Messi-style creative instinct. By this point, he had 48 goal involvements in 144 United games, an FA Cup, an EFL Cup, a Copa America winner's medal. The tightrope between two suns was holding. Barely. And then the tightrope snapped. Here's where Amorim enters, and where the title earns itself. Because the criticism of Garnacho never came for his creativity. It came every single time for the thing the Ronaldo philosophy is supposed to guarantee: discipline, pressing, positioning, defensive commitment, the unglamorous work. Rewind, this is the same flaw scouts flagged in a 12-year-old Mbappe, by the way. Brilliant with the ball, absent without it. Ten Hag pushed him on it. And then Amorim, arriving at United with a rigid tactical system, demanded exactly that discipline, and Garnacho didn't deliver it. So look at what happened in December 2024. Garnacho wins the Puskás Award, the ultimate symbol of the Messi world, free-flowing genius. And 3 days later, Amorim leaves him out of the Manchester Derby squad. The video of his goal of the year is circling the internet while he watches the biggest game of the season from home. That's the paradox in one image. The award that celebrates instinct, sitting right next to the punishment for lacking discipline. The two philosophies colliding in the same week, in the same player. By 2025, Amorim had made clear Garnacho had no place in his structure. An acrimonious exit from Old Trafford followed. In August 2025, Chelsea signed him for around £40 million on a deal until 2032. A fresh start. And even the fresh start told the same story. Flashes of the Messi world magic, but not the consistency, not the defensive buy-in. Elite creator numbers, underwhelming end product. He'd summer 2025 even turned down a move to Al Nassr, turning down the chance to finally play with Cristiano Ronaldo, his childhood idol. The kid who joined United for CR7 said no to reuniting with him. The distance from the idol was now literal. Which brings us to the moment the title is really about. 2026, the World Cup. Messi's last one. And Scaloni, the man who believed in Garnacho before his own club did, who called him up before a single United start, leaves him home. The reasons, reported clearly, are pure Ronaldo world failures. Per World Soccer Talk and beIN Sports, the staff wanted him to attack defenders directly and inject chaos, but felt he played too safely. At more than 18 months without a cap, an inconsistent Chelsea season, and, per beIN's Antonio Medina, a growing reputation for off-field drama. In a squad built around collective discipline and tactical responsibility, he didn't fit. And here's the detail that closes the whole circle. The player Scaloni picked in Garnacho's place? Nico Paz, a kid who chose Argentina without hesitation, who fit the collective, who did the unglamorous work. The Messi world profile. So the final scoreboard, Garnacho watches the 2026 World Cup from home. He has a Puskás Award, a Chelsea contract until 2032, and two footballing philosophies he never fully absorbed. Amorim saw the discipline gap first. Scaloni confirmed it on the biggest stage of all. That's the downfall the title promised. And it was written in that dressing room years earlier, the day he said Ronaldo, with Messi sitting right there. So let's return to the paradox at the heart of this. Cristiano and Messi are the two opposite sons of modern football. And Garnacho is the one young player of his generation who got to orbit both. He trained beside Ronaldo. He played beside Messi. He copied one celebration and called the other his idol. He won the same Puskás his hero won in 2009, and he refused to go play with that same hero when the chance came. And after all of it, according to Ten Hag, according to Amorim, according to Alonso at Chelsea, according to Scaloni, he didn't fully become either. Not disciplined enough to be a Ronaldo. Not freely integrated enough to be a Messi. Caught permanently in the gap between the two. Now, here's the question the whole video is really asking. Is this a failure of Alejandro Garnacho? A talented kid who simply couldn't commit to one identity? Or is it proof of something bigger? That these two philosophies are genuinely irreconcilable? That no young player can grow directly between two suns without getting burned by both? Because maybe the tragedy isn't that Garnacho chose wrong. Maybe it's that he was the only one ever forced to stand close enough to both to have to choose at all. Tell me in the comments, is this on Garnacho? Or is it just impossible to be built by two opposite gods at once? I want to hear it.